I'm Edma, welcome to Egma Games. In this video, I'm going to be doing a speed build of a canal area on my island. I have a tropical city theme for my island, so I'm going to make the canal area look a little resort-like, and this video is just me building it for you, so let's get into it. So what I'm going to be starting off with is me tearing down cliffs that were existing before I had a concrete idea of how I wanted to have the canal area looking. I want the whole strip of water to kind of connect with cliffs and it be a waterfall with like palm trees and trees in the background. So I'm basically getting rid of what I had and reshaping how I want the cliff to look. I did use a few ideas from Pinterest that I could see from canal areas on Animal Crossing. I saw a lot of city streets that had like little shop areas around them, and I saw some that separated, like one side is like a neighborhood, the other side's a cafe, and I took some of the decorations that like other people had used to help me figure out how I wanted to decorate mine. But once I started getting into the flow of like building it a little bit, I kind of just did it myself. So this build was inspired by how some canal themes look, but I was kind of on my own for the city core theme, or the tropical city core theme, so I'm pretty proud for how it came out, but those are kind of my ideas on what it was. Right now I'm lining this sidewalk. I really like how other people have builds to where you have the regular sidewalk and then it changes to a different type of gravel, or I don't know what you would call it, a different type of sidewalk. So some people use cobblestone, some people use the other stone in the regular DIY kits that like you can get from the Nook Miles thing, and then some people also use like DIYs that other people create. So that's what I'm trying to go through right now, is just kind of line it with the sidewalk. But I later changed my mind and switch it up. So I also started putting sidewalk around the town hall, just because I know eventually I'm going to have to do that anyways, and overall I think it completed the look. This is the point where I decided I wanted to see what it would look like if I didn't have a sidewalk near the waterfall. And I just kind of erased it and put the cobblestone there instead, and I like that a lot better. So I eventually do it to both sides. I just think that it looked more natural this way. I don't know why I was putting sidewalk on the inside of like the canal, because I mean no one's gonna be walking on the inside of the canal. That's where I was planning on putting flower beds and bushes and, you know, garden chairs and everything. So I think I'm really glad that I changed my mind midway. But yeah. At this point of time, I was figuring I should add 2 lines of sidewalk. I just really like having 2 like rows of sidewalk anywhere, just because I know on the first row I'm gonna end up putting like a vending machine, a street light or a lamppost, a trash can or something. So, and I like that because like I just feel like it's more natural because it's giving your character more room to walk around. So, and I for the life of me could not figure out why this stump was like not leaving until I finally realized it was a log stool. So I felt really dumb for that, but yeah. And I also wanted to incorporate a food truck because I've also seen other creators do that as well, and I just think it's such a cute idea. So that was one of the big things that I wanted the canal to be, the canal area to be a food truck area, to where people come here and just get like a coffee or some pastries and just chill out by the river, the canal, you know. Hopefully Brewster doesn't mind having a food truck out here that also sells coffee. That coffee is probably way cheaper than his anyways. I start building this side so it looks more like the other side. I wanted it to kind of match, have the same amount of length. So I'm just filling it in, making it bulky. And then I'm completing the cobblestone. Once I have both sides filled up with cobblestone, I start thinking about where I want my bridges to go. I want to have 2 bridges, and to help with the placement, I kind of want, like, when you go over the bridge, you can see the waterfall and everything in behind it. So this is me trying to figure out the first and second placement of the bridges. Once I figure out the first bridge, I look up and think that, oh, it'd be kind of cute if I had a double waterfall. So I'm building the double waterfall right now. Whenever I first put the waterfall up there, I decided it's too small, and I'm adding more blocks on this side and potentially on the other side so I can make the waterfall on the top a little bit thicker so it's wider and more even with the bottom. I start marking where I want potential palm trees while I'm doing this, and then I go down to check to see if I like the waterfall placement. And then I think this is where I realize, oh, it's like kind of too small and it looks a little awkward, so I'm going to try to add more on both sides to see if like maybe a thicker waterfall will look better on top. I needed a break from figuring out how I'm going to do the waterfalls, so I looked in the DIYs to see what kind of food truck I wanted to be. I had 3 options, and I decided I wanted to go with a boba pastry truck, so that's what I did. I was looking at other people's designs. Most of them use like gray and like a DIY custom that goes with that, but I really like the orange because I wanted it to be tropical kind of, and orange is super tropical color, so I really like that. I also went to check the waterfall placement, and I ended up not liking it just because I know I wanted to create hedges around the waterfall, and having the double waterfall just wasn't going to work because since it is a tropical city, I'm going to be doing my best to cover up the cliffs with simple panels, and you'll later on see that and kind of understand what I'm talking about, but yeah. I'm not sure why I pole vaulted just to walk right back over the bridge, but yeah, I really did that. It was around this time that I don't know if it was just the gloomy weather in Animal Crossing this day, but the cobblestone and all the gray along with like the rainy day, I just didn't like how gloomy it looked, and it didn't feel very tropical and fun for me, so I put the terracotta stone down to see how it would look, and I realized that yeah, I can't move the bridge because I already paid for literally both of them to be completed, and so now I'm gonna have to demolish them and lose all that money that I just paid. But I really liked how the terracotta looked. I think what prevented me to use the terracotta stone before is because I'm not a fan of the brick bridge and how people use the brick stone with the brick bridge. Happy that they like that style. I really don't, but I think the brick bridge looks good with it terracotta stone, so those are the bridges that are going to replace the cobblestone bridge. So I have a really bad habit of paying for bridges like immediately. So I placed this bridge, I paid for it, I time skipped the next day, and I didn't like the placement, so you're gonna see me skip, demolish, and redo the bridge. I like wasted like 500,000 bells on these bridges, and I'm not proud of it, so, but whatever, it ended up looking good anyways in my opinion, so I guess I'll get over it. Another thing is I don't know if anyone else is like me, but I love working at like in the morning time, so if I time skip like ahead and it's like gloomy or rainy, I'll immediately time skip backwards to the day before because I know the weather's nice, and I'll always change it to 10 a.m. So a lot of the times throughout this video you'll see me go from like rainy weather to immediately like this kind of weather. So I don't know, it's a weird thing about me. I just always do that. I just love working in the daytime and I like it being bright, so I was so relieved when I finally placed this last bridge and paid it off, and I really liked how like the placement and everything for it, and I was so happy to be finally done with the bridges at this point. It took me so long to time skip because it's just so annoying like paying for a bridge, and even when you pay for it and you're like, actually just kidding, I want to demolish it, you have to wait another day till it's built, and then you have to demolish it the next day. So the bridges were a real struggle for me. So right now I'm just doing the DIY panels and placing them. I really like this custom design. I'll have to find it later and maybe edit the info for the video just so I have the DIY in case anyone else is interested, but I really like it because it makes it look like there's bushes all the way in the back, and it's a really nice way to cover up the cliffs. The storefront cover that I added to the truck was a last minute idea. I saw someone's island have that from Pinterest and I really liked it, and it made it kind of look like its own store, so I wanted to have it as well. And then I'm just putting in the lampposts, and about at this point I was really excited because now I got to the decorating part of the area, so I was really happy about that. During this part is whenever I made a list of what items that most people use when they're decorating their canal, and I kind of just went with my own design but using similar items. Once I put the lamppost on the other side, I was just waiting a little bit to see if Lily would ever move, and she just didn't, so I kind of gave up on it. And yeah, that's whenever I started working on the garden benches and just started placing those instead, trying to work around her, and she eventually kind of got out of the way. So just kidding, she actually didn't get out of the way, so I decided to put the lampposts on the other side of the bridge, and then right when I did that, she decided to move, and I was like, whatever. So when decorating this area, I kind of wanted both sides to be somewhat symmetrical, like when it came to items being used and maybe like the bushes, but I wanted the flowers to be mismatched, and I really like that look because it just makes it look more colorful. I used like different colors and I really liked that look, so it looked more like wildflowery and prettier in my opinion. I then started putting the bistro tables down where I wanted them to be placed. It was kind of sporadic and kind of just like I just used how many tables I had and kind of just did it based on how many I had because I didn't feel like ordering more. So, and I really liked how the placement came out because it's like just enough but not chaotic and everything like being covered, like there's still room for like people to walk around, so I really like that. During this part, I was kind of trying to see where I would want some bushes and flowers to go, so I'm marking the ground to where I think would look good. A tip that I have for color coding and what flowers to use is I just kind of made a list. I went online to see what all the flowers are for Animal Crossing, and I just chose specific colors that I thought would look good for the Tropical City theme. So I just planted a whole bunch of them, and then over a few days of time skipping, they just kind of duplicate and just breed themselves. So that was my plan for that. And then whenever I go to put them down, I just pick random colors that I think would look good. And I think it's more fun that way instead of trying to stay to a strict like color coordination. Of course, I could not ignore Dom. He's my favorite, so enjoy some Dom content. The best villager. Watch me awkwardly try to take a cute picture with him and interact with him, but he was just not having it, so I left him alone. Whenever I was first deciding what color I wanted to use for the garden chairs, I wanted to do blue, but I think that it was a little bit too much chaos with color, so I went with like the neutral brown, and I really loved how that looked and how it turned out. So I eventually like counted how many I needed to make, and then I made like a lot, and yeah, and then I just made them all brown. So yeah. The bistro tables on this side really annoyed me because I didn't realize how much space they like took up, and so it was really aggravating trying to fit the chairs and the table and the flowers and the bushes all together, and I like struggle for a bit, and you can see me rearranging everything, and I don't know, I just was trying to like move everything around to make it all fit, and like what I came up with was the best thing that worked, and it's whatever. I still am aggravated that like they just take up so much extra space. It's like they take up like a half a space, which is really annoying too. So it's like that awkward, like the chair is kind of sideways, but I put it in the back so you can't really tell, or maybe you can, but we're not going to talk about it, so. Around this time is when it was all starting to come together, and I really loved it. And this is me just adding the sidewalk like I talked about earlier, how you have the regular sidewalk and then it leads to like a stone path. And I just really like how bright everything looks. I'm really glad I switched from the cobblestone to the terracotta. Yeah, and I just do this for both sides, and it just made everything just wrap up nicely. I also really enjoyed how close the orange trees are to the sidewalk paths, so whenever I add another layer of sidewalk, I'll probably keep the trees in between, because I just like how like it gives like the natural shade. It just looks really nice, and like the orange trees kind of just go along with the terracotta, so I think it adds a nice touch. I'm now collecting bushes to decorate the top of the waterfall. I put the pink azalea down even though it's not in bloom as a kind of a happy accident, just because like I was gonna use all bushes that are in bloom, but I think this looks more natural that some of them are in bloom and then one of them isn't, but I don't know. I kind of just liked how it turned out. I'm grabbing the palm trees as well. I really loved layering the fruit trees with the palm trees. I just think it adds a pop of color and it looks so good. I really fell in love with how it turned out. And I switched out of the construction outfit because I'm getting ready to give a tour. First, of course, I need to decorate the storefront and put little goodies out so it looks like the food truck is actually open. And I thought first to use the diffused or infused water, but decided not to, and it's a coffee shop and pastry. And sorry for the abrupt pause in music, but thought what more fitting would be Animal Crossing music for whenever I'm walking slowly and awkwardly to show you my fun little creation I created. And that wraps up the video. Thank you so much for watching this far, if you're still watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this speed build. If you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments, and yeah, feel free to use any ideas that I used in flowers and bushes or whatever. And if you have any questions regarding like what time of year it is, I'm in June, as you can see in the bottom left screen. It took me a while to figure out what time would be best and what bushes I wanted to use for the island, so this is the perfect time because 2 different bushes are in bloom. But yeah, if you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!